Hey, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, June 26th, 2015. My name is Cliff Backus, and this is your daily video market review. Yesterday was a disappointing day for the bulls, as stocks appeared to open strong, but sold off in mixed trading volume, giving the S&P another distribution day. A distribution day is a trading session where an index, in our case we follow the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, falls at least 0.2% on heavier trading volume than the prior day. Distribution's a sign of institutional selling in the market, and too much distribution is an indication that the market may be near an intermediate high. In contrast to the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, the IBD 50 and the IBD 85 were up on heavier volume, giving them accumulation days yesterday. Again, I would interpret this as not bearish. The market's confused here as small caps continue to act bullishly while large caps not so much. Declining issues bettered advancers by nearly 2-to-1 yesterday. The New York Stock Exchange advanced decline line continues to look bearish, but looks a bit healthier than it has since mid-May, with a recent higher low and a higher high. New highs bettered new lows by about 4-to-3 yesterday. Our market timing model is showing a market in transition for the S&P 500, but remains on a buy signal for the NASDAQ. The O'Neill market model is showing a market in a confirmed uptrend, but our distribution count is very elevated. Small caps bettered large caps again by a wide margin yesterday, and small caps continue to outperform on a 10-day moving average basis. This is in character with a confirmed uptrend when small caps generally are more likely to outperform. The small cap Russell 2000 and the S&P 600 continue to outperform large caps, giving some encouragement to the bulls. Our swing timing model is indicating a neutral condition in the market. The continued dominance by small caps, along with the recent strength in the Russell 2000 and the small cap S&P 600, indicate that the market may want to push a little bit higher here. We remain bullish, but not exceedingly so. We have our stops in place as we watch to see where this summer rally takes us. It should be noted that the Russell stock indexes have their annual rebalancing today. The Russell rebalance always leads to heavy volume and unpredictable volatility. Today could be wild. What we're looking at here is Moody's list of 177 industry groups sorted by HGSI, High Growth Stock Investors, by 5-day percentage change. The reason we look at this is that by noting where the strength in the market is on a daily basis, we can get an idea of where the power in the market is rotating to. The basic premise of momentum trading, which is what we're doing here, is that we need to identify where the power in the market is and get out in front of it. So let's see where the strength was in yesterday's market. On a 5-day percentage change basis yesterday, we saw strength in renewable energy project development, up 11.8%. Other consumer products were up 7.0%. Home building index was up 4.8% on a 5-day basis. Agricultural machinery was up 4%. And the airline index was also up 4%. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I want to take a look at the change on a 1-day basis. Because of the Supreme Court ruling yesterday, healthcare stocks were particularly strong yesterday, and we can see that healthcare facilities index yesterday was up 2.7%, and managed care was also up 2.7%. Strong days for the healthcare industry. It may be a sign of things to come. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000. After opening higher yesterday, the Russell 2000 closed down 0.64 points, or 0.05%. The index ended at 1283.27, but Importantly, the index held support at this prior high in the 1279 area. As long as the Russell continues to remain in this uptrend, I think the market should be in pretty good shape. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ Composite. NASDAQ yesterday also, after opening higher, closed down 10.22 points, or 0.2%. NASDAQ closed at 51.12. Trading volume yesterday was below the prior day. And for you followers of William O'Neill, the NASDAQ is in a confirmed uptrend, has been since May 14th. It currently has 6 distribution days. That's a lot of distribution in a month, and is worth noting. NASDAQ right now is bracketed by support down here in the 48.47 area and resistance up here in the 51.20 range. Notice how the NASDAQ broke below that area after having traded above it. We were hoping that this 51.20 area would act as support. Evidently it has not. We'll see if we can recapture that area today. The NASDAQ right now is on a buy signal, indicating that traders can be adding to positions in this market but should not be using margin to leverage up portfolios. Take a look at the S&P 500. The S&P yesterday also opened higher and wound up closing down 6.27 points, or 0.3%. The S&P closed at 2102. Trading volume was higher yesterday, giving us another distribution day. The S&P 500 is currently in a confirmed uptrend, but has 7 distribution days in the past month. S&P is bracketed by support down here in the 2072 area and resistance up here in the 2134 range. Significantly, yesterday the S&P 500 pulled right back to this trend line. That trend line had defined its prior downtrend. When we broke out of that trend line becomes support now. We would hope that the S&P will find support here and come back and challenge resistance up here in the 2134 area. I'm going to take a look at a few stocks before we call it a weekend. Luxoft Holding develops custom software for organizations in the financial, travel, technology, telecom, auto, and energy industries. The stock had been working on this second stage base. We broke above the pivot point in the 5730 area, only to fail and pull back and retest the 50-day moving average right here. Luxoft gets a 72% checklist rating, and yesterday, it's kind of hard to see here, but yesterday the stock traded higher volume than any down day in the past 10 trading sessions, which is the definition of a pocket pivot. Coming off of the 50-day moving average the way that it has, and crossing through its 21-day exponential moving average and its 10-day simple moving average on heavier volume, the stock closed at the top of its daily range. Luxoft looks like it wants to go higher here and can be bought by traders. Next, let's take a look at Nexstar Broadcasting Group. Nexstar owns and operates 87 TV and 26 digital multicast stations in 21 states, serving 49 markets. The stock is currently working on a first stage base here with a pivot point of $60.21. Nexstar gets a 64% checklist rating. We have been watching this trend line in Nexstar, and yesterday the stock failed at that trend line level, but it did trade higher trading volume than any down day in the past 10 trading sessions, and so it did put in a pocket pivot. I would watch Nexstar here. If Nexstar breaks above this trend line area, it would be a real good place to buy a first stage base in anticipation of a breakout in the 60-21 range. The last stock I want to take a look at is Valeant Pharmaceuticals. Valeant develops branded drugs in areas of dermatology, neurology, eye health, and over-the-counter products. The stock is in a fourth stage base currently, which is a late stage base and is more prone to failure. That said, the pharmaceutical industry has been a great place to be invested recently. The company gets a 68% checklist rating. We can draw in a trend line right here that we may want to be able to break. We have a pivot point of 246.01, and yesterday we had a pocket pivot. I like Valeant coming off of its 50-day moving average here. The stock found support right here at its 50 and seems to want to go higher. Let's actually draw in that trend line because that could be significant here. We may want to buy Valeant here on the pocket pivot, or you may want to wait for it to break above that trend line. That's about all I have for today. If you want to talk about any of the stocks mentioned today or any of our market strategies, please feel free to give me a call, drop me an email, or make an appointment. Come by the office, see what we're up to. Contact information is on the home page. For daily access to our model portfolios, trade updates, and more up-to-date information on our trading strategies, please take a minute to go to our subscription page and subscribe to Push Button Stock Trading. You can also follow us on Twitter at PushButtonStock. Again, my name is Cliff Backus. That's your daily video market review. Have a safe and profitable day. Keep your stops in place, and I will see you again tomorrow. Please stay tuned for our important disclaimers. All the best. Disclaimers. Push Button Stock Trading Video Market Review is produced and edited by Clifford B. Backus. Mr. Backus is a Senior Vice President of Investments, Technical Analyst, Portfolio Manager, and Partner with the investment firm of Ohannes & LaCours Incorporated. Video Market Review is produced solely for the benefit of our clients, friends, and colleagues. Anything written, stolen, and/or plagiarized in this publication is done without malice. Further, the analysis and opinions expressed in this publication are strictly those of the editor and not of Ohannes & LaCours Incorporated, its affiliates, subsidiaries, or any of the officers or employees of Ohannes & LaCours, Inc. On that note, we submit the following. The analysis, calculations, and evaluations presented herein are based on data and assumptions Ohannes & LaCours Incorporated believes to be accurate. Ohannes & LaCours Incorporated makes no representation that such analysis or calculations are accurate or that such valuations represent levels at which actual trades may occur. This report has been prepared from original sources except where otherwise noted, and data we believe to be reliable. Ohannes & LaCours, Inc., its affiliates and subsidiaries, and/or their officers and employees or their families may from time to time acquire, hold, or sell a position in the securities mentioned herein. Moreover, opinions may differ from one entity to the next. If we are used in connection with the purchase or sale of any security discussed in this report, we may act as principal for our own account or as agent for both the buyer and the seller. Push Button Stock Trading is dedicated to the education of friends, clients, and paid subscribers. Push Button Stock Trading is an information service only. The information provided herein is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell stocks of any kind. Push Button Stock Trading is created to aid subscribers in making informed investment decisions based wholly or in part on technical analysis. It's possible that at this time or some subsequent date, the editors of Push Button Stock Trading may own, buy, or sell the investments presented. All investors should consult a qualified professional before making any investment. The information provided has been obtained from sources deemed to be reliable, but it is not guaranteed as to the accuracy or completeness. The editors of Push Button Stock Trading make every effort to provide timely information to subscribers, but cannot guarantee specific delivery times due to factors beyond our control.